And we are live for our first Women's Supa-Liga semi-final of the weekend. Interesting and a good point that we should probably make now is this is a two-legged semi-final, so it's not going to be all she wrote if you do lose tonight, but it'll go a long way to seeing yourself in the grand final next week. Just getting the team list up as we speak. Bear with me. Here we go. So, for the West Coast Cobras, we've got number 1, Annie Leyland in goals. Sarah Ranieri wearing number 3. Tatum Spencer. Lauren Contenabali. Taylor Reid. Stephanie Wincock. Emma Yillas. I don't think this is the right team sheet. Apparently any of these people are here. I'm not sure what I've done. Give me 1 second. Could you get the team sheet up, Batim? Batim's going to do that, and I'm going to freestyle the names as we go. So that's Frankie Murray, who's going to be starting us off. So a big game for either teams. This is second versus third in the league. This is a semi-final. This is where it ended last season for the West Coast Cobras, as the Northern Hawks did lose in penalty shootout. So I've got the team sheet out now. I'll quickly run through it. The Northern Hawks, Kaitlyn Bellanca on the ball. Dakota Van Voigt, number 11. Ingrid Basola, number 6. Carla Edwards in goal, number 1. Jade Paul wearing number 4. Madeline Bogus wearing number 5. Talia Kerham wearing number 6. And Carla Biggin wearing number 10. And for the West Coast Cobras, Annie Leyland wearing number 1, EJ Silver number 8, Shelby Cochran wearing number 4, Frankie Murray wearing number 12, Sarah Ranieri wearing number 3, Crystal Brook wearing 22, Tatum Spencer wearing number 9, and Lauren Contenabali wearing number 2. So a lot to play for. I am also joined this evening by John Goodlich in the commentary box. Obviously, we're both heavily involved with the West Coast Cobras, so it'd be wrong to say that we weren't backing the Cobras girls, but we'll be neutral for the moment. That was a good through ball there from Murray. Bellanca, who's come out of nowhere this season and been a star of the show for the Northern Hawks. John, thanks for joining me again after you've just popped a blood vessel watching that last game. Any score predictions for this one coming up?
I think the Northern Hawks will take it 3-1 going to the second leg. Obviously, we are involved with the Cobras, but with Bellanca, Basalo, Jade Paul and Co on the court, I think they might just have a little bit extra quality to get them over the line.
Yep, 100%.
Cobras, they're not a bad side by any means, but it's always a good matchup, just like it is with the men's between these two sides. However, I have noticed that the Hawks tend to usually get the better of them. 2 full-strength squads on the day. A lot of talent on both sides. Annie Leyland and Carla Edwards at the battle of the 2 goalkeepers. I think between both of them, Kaitlyn Bellanca and the ball now is the one to watch out for. She's had a good season after coming back from an injury. 5 goals in 5 games she's played, so she'll be looking to add to that tally. Dakota Van Voigt looking to play Bellanca on the left. Cochran is the back for the West Coast Cobras. Murray under pressure. Bellanca, lovely turnaround. Cochran still going Bellanca, and it's a 2-on-1. Plays it to the back post, and that's the opener by Dakota Van Voigt, but she was set up very nicely by the woman of the hour, Kaitlyn Bellanca, who is a bit of individual brilliance to spin around Cochran before playing it nicely to the back post, where Van Voigt had the simple job to tap it in. And they take an early lead in the first leg of the semi-final, but nothing to worry about just yet. As still 73 minutes of futsal to go before this one's determined, or 77 minutes rather.
Yep, 100%.
Bellanca, she might strike again. Leyland comes out this time.
Well defended there, Annie Leyland. So I think West Coast Cobras, what they've got to realise is that this is a marathon, the semi-final, especially a two-legged one. It's definitely not a sprint. They don't want to go all guns blazing, concede a few goals and count themselves out for next week. On the other hand, they just don't want to let them get this game get away from them at all. So as long as you go into the second leg of a semi-final by only a 2-goal deficit, you are more than a chance. But the West Coast Cobras probably got full strength. Maybe missing Emma Yillas is who I'd say the big out is. But other than that, they have got their best team. Oh, Sam Brady as well, we probably should mention. So West Coast Cobras have got a lot of talent. The Northern Hawks have only got 3 on the bench, and no Kayla McCulloch. And of course, no Sophie Podmore, who hasn't actually been with us this season. So the Northern Hawks, I'd actually say depleted. So if the West Coast Cobras are to get something out of this fixture, it's going to be today, I'd say, with McCulloch, who normally controls the game at the back. Van Voigt has been hurt, actually tackling the player. She's gone down injured. Let's have a look. The shin. Farrell has walked onto the court, seeing if Van Voigt's okay. She's yet to lift her head, so I'm not sure. The clock is still going, so I'm not sure what is going on. Sounds like she's in a bit of discomfort. Tana Campos looks like she might be making her way onto the court to see them as well. She's standing on the edge. Hopefully Van Voigt is okay. Let's have a look, Van Voigt. She might have hurt her shin. Obviously, she was the early goal scorer, so wouldn't want to see her go off injured. It looks like she's going to. A bit of stoppage time. Van Voigt's gone off injured. Hopefully she's okay. So Cobra's free kick after all of that. So Crystal J. Brooke is standing over it. Let's have a look. Jade Brooke going to take this one. Frankie Murray back to Jade Brooke. Gives it to Kontanabali, who stepped on. She's one of the stars for the West Coast Cobras.
Yeah, Kontanabali on the ball now. She featured in the goals of the week in the WMPL last week, playing for Bellanca, obviously. A very good player, adds a lot to the Cobras lineup, and should need to step up today if they are to send themselves into the second leg with a lead. EJ Silva, the 14-year-old as well, she's also been very good this season. Up the line to Murray in the centre now. Bissalo. Bellanca. Bellanca again. Back to Bissalo. And over the top there, looking for Bellanca's run, but claimed by Leyland. Brooke. Silva. Cobra is keeping the ball nicely. Kontanabali. Heavy ball for Brooke to control, but she does well. Looks it 3 to Silva, who scoops it to Murray. Murray tries to find Kontanabali. A good idea, but the pass just wasn't weighted correctly. As Madeline Bogust, the youngster, checks on for the Northern Hawks. Murray fires off the right, saved at the near post by Edwards.
One thing that's probably interesting now to note is that the Northern Hawks actually came into this game with 2 players on the bench, I think, or maybe 3, but with that injury to Van Voigt, they're going to be playing this game with 6 or 7 players. So the West Coast Cobras, I dare say, would want to almost go full throttle for this game and try and get a win, while the Northern Hawks are depleted, as we were saying. No Kayla McCulloch as well. And I know Jade Paul's coming back from an injury too. This is her first game, I think, in a month. Frankie Murray with the flick to nobody. She's the live wire for the West Coast Cobras. Frankie Murray, a very unpredictable player. I dare say one of my favourites in the league. Kontanabali off the right. Kyle Edwards, good save.
Yeah, not far away there from Kontanabali. She struck it well. Now the Cobras will have a corner to come as Jade Paul checks back on, wearing the number 4. Up the line to Kontanabali. Can she fire from distance like she did at Red Star last week? Loses out to Bissalo. Bissalo off the left and claimed by Leyland. Brooke. Kontanabali in the centre, looking for Murray. Murray stretched but couldn't reach it. And the number 23 on Natalia Karam, who gets it long over the top, heads it into the path of the number 10 Beer Gun, but she can't get the shot away. It's blocked by Crystal J. Brooke, and they'll have a side ball. Paul down the line to Beer Gun, who gets around her. Paul with a toe poke.
Save there from Leyland. Coming out very well. Frankie Murray's going to take her first sub of the game, and Tatum Spencer's going to check in the youngster. We've been told to let everyone know that Tatum Spencer and EJ Silva are only 14, and two of the youngest players in the comp.
So yeah, very good youngsters, Tatum Spencer and EJ Silva. They've added a lot to this Cobras lineup despite their age, and it's in a couple of seasons to come, them along with Sam Brady will set the benchmark for women's futsal in WA and maybe follow the pathway of someone like Zoe Spadano, who's now playing professionally in Italy. Who did the same sort of pathway. Obviously, she was playing Women's Supa-Liga back in the day at age 14 as well. As lovely feet there. Tries to flick it inside to Bogas. Ball given away, and now Crystal J. Brooks on the break. Looks for the back post. Edwards is there to claim it. Edwards almost uses up all 4 seconds. Plays to Kerm. Van Bach, she's back on after recovering from that injury on the bench, but loses that to Cochrane. And now a 2-on-1 for the Cobras. A chance for Kontinabali. Good save by Carla Edwards. Kontinabali will be annoyed that she didn't do better there.
And obviously Sarah Ranieri checking in now. She was on that European holiday. She played her first game last week. Actually, no, she didn't because there was no game last week. So I think this actually could be her first game. I don't know if I'm being honest. All right, apparently she's played a few. The game that they won 1-0 against the Western Devils, she was here for Sarah Ranieri. So that's the Sarah Ranieri effect. She turns up when she wants and she wins the game for you. And as we're saying that, she's giving it away. Tatum Spencer beating the experience of Paul. Gives it to Cochrane. Cochrane to Kontinabali, and a good save there from Carla Edwards. She probably would have wanted to hold on to that one. And Ranieri there, we've seen the shot has been blocked. Bellanca's checking back in. It's a corner ball here for the West Coast Cobras. If anyone's watching, give us a few score predictions. I'm not sure what that was from Ranieri, but Bellanca's picked it up. It's a good job. Kontinabali's fast, and Bellanca's covered about 40 meters of that court in 0.01 seconds, so you can see she's quick. The Cobras have got to watch out for her. Kontinabali, what a ball! That is Sarah Ranieri putting on the burners as well. She's caught the ball. Talia Curran defended that well, but what a run that was from Ranieri. Maybe she wasn't in Europe. Maybe she was spending her time running. It's going to be a Ranieri side ball. Gives it through. Oh, Tatum Spencer thought she had it. Bellanca's there. Curran gives it to Van Voik. Van Voik. Pressed by Cochrane. She's been megged. Paul gives it to Bellanca. Bellanca wide to Curran. Down the line, and Kaitlyn Bellanca again. Good save there from Leyland.
And the corner now for the Northern Hawks. Jade Paul firing off the right. Bellanca trying to find a way through. Ranieri. Kontinabali. Tries to get beyond Bellanca. Leyland clears. Paul. Karam. Looking for options forward. Back rolls it to Bellanca, and the Hawks trying to drift into the 4-0 perhaps. Paul, Bellanca. Karam in support. Just can't quite keep it in. And this game not played as quite a higher, not played at a tempo quite as high as the last one, but
sometimes you can expect that from semi-finals. Obviously, a little bit more on the line. You don't want to maybe overexert yourself, but you also don't want to, I'd say, give an inch to the other team. So they always are a bit more cagey affairs, as we would know. But yeah, this game definitely has slowed momentum slightly.
Ranieri looks for the line, can't find Basalo.
I mean, who would you pinpoint as the two players, obviously one from each team, that you would say we've got to look out for and the viewers at home have got to watch for as well?
I'd say obviously Bellanca, and EJ Silva is probably the other one.
Yeah.
I mean, is she the standout for the Cobras? Maybe not quite yet, but considering she's 14 and competing against senior players, I think
it's impressive.
You've got to kind of hand it to her. Kontinabali would probably be the other one.
I have actually spoke to EJ Silver's mum, and I have actually tipped her to play for Australia one day. So maybe if I put a bet on now, I could win some good money. So yeah, EJ Silver definitely want to watch for the future. And yeah, as you said, Kaitlyn Bellanca seems like a bit of a live wire up and down the court.
100%, and here she is on the ball again. Brings it toward the half. Basalo would probably be the number 2 for the Northern Hawks.
Yeah, she's a very, very good player. Seasoned player, I would say. Playing for South Perth for many years now, the South Perth Alliance. She's won and played in some very good national competitions too, so she's another one to watch out for. And here she is on the ball, the number 6. She's got very nice feet. You'll always, definitely not feet, she's got very nice futsal feet. I don't know about her actual feet, I haven't seen them. Bellanca has it now. She's being pressed and she's lost it. Cochrane almost came out of nowhere. Carla Edwards sweeps up. She goes along there. And it's actually gone through. Kontinabali almost misjudged the flight of that one. Cochrane is checking out. And Crystal J. Brooke is checking back in. She's another good player. Crystal J. Brooke came up through the ranks at the West Coast Cobras, playing for the C's and B's. And now finds herself in the A's. And here she is, one-on-one with Carla Edwards. And what a save that was from Carla Edwards.
Yeah, brilliant stop. A golden opportunity for Brooke, and
she's probably got to put that away.
Of holes starting to leak through in the Hawks' defense. The Cobras have probably looked the better side since that first goal has gone in.
Yep.
Now up the other end, Hawks looking to counter. Bellanca brings it forward. Has Kontinabali to beat. Hawks the attack, gives it to Van Voigt. And the reverse ball played to Basalo. Bellanca, bit of a loose pass. Kontinabali can't quite keep it. Bellanca. And Biggin loses out. But they do get the sideline ball back. And a timeout called by Greg Farrell. I think it's definitely due. Don't want to squander this early lead. And we'll go to a quick ad break and be back in just a moment.
Futsal WA has social futsal competitions 5 nights a week, Mount Lawley and West Perth. Whether you're an individual or have a group of mates who want to play, there's a junior, men's, women's or mixed competition that will suit you. Contact us to get involved in futsal, an action-packed sport and the fastest growing sport in Australia.
Oh, really? That's so weird.
We've had a score prediction for the women's game. Probably for the first time I've ever seen one. I've seen a 3-2 somewhere. 3-2. Not sure who it's for though. I'll mention that one. 3-2 to that team. We've had a 3-2 to somebody and a beautiful commentary from Liquid Saeed.
Nothing else for the game before.
Ladies, big team, let's go. You gonna wait for my thumbs up, man?
The 3 viewers.
Oh, there was 4, bro.
The mic was on. I wasn't. Hopefully, I didn't say anything too incriminating against myself or anybody else. I don't think I did. We just were mentioning that we've got a score prediction of 3-2. Let us know which way that is, though. We're have fun because I'm not sure. Maybe we'll go for a 3-2 Cobras, as that's who we all want to win. And Lookman Saeed's left us a lovely comment of beautiful commentary. Saeed, who was formerly a teammate of myself and coached by John Goodlich, now resides with the Northern Hawks. He'll be hoping to win the league tomorrow with the Northern Hawks and get himself a back-to-back championship after leaving the West Coast Cobras in the transfer window. Ingrid Basolo gives it to Van Voigt, who looks like she's recovered from her earlier knock. Well defended there from Frankie Murray. But as John was saying earlier, I think since that early goal from the Northern Hawks, the Hawks probably have actually had the better chances. I know Bellanca's had a few, but the West Coast Cobras overall have been the better side. Would you agree, John?
Yeah, a couple of gaps have opened up in the Hawks' defense where the Cobras have got through quite easily. And I think when the Cobras stress, sometimes the Hawks are a bit nervous on the ball at the back. They aren't necessarily used to the oncoming physicality of what some of these Cobras players can give. Man, in fact, she's the difference between the teams so far. Here she is on the ball again, but
yeah, I'd say that
high and dribbling out of bounds.
I'd say that the Northern Hawks are a little bit more of a structured team, where the Cobras are a little bit more unpredictable, where they can just press you out of nowhere when there's, well, I'd say no warning. We've had another score prediction. GK Midi, who's joining us controversially after ditching the series futsal live stream. Obviously not happy with the Campbellfield result. I know he's an avid Campbellfield supporter. So he's joined us and set a 3-3 draw, which would be an entertaining game. GK?
Yeah, I'm not happy with that Campbellfield result either. I mean, we were expecting that to be the game of the night in series futsal, just like the Sharks versus Footscubs was going to be the game of the night in the Supa-Liga, and that one lived up to expectations, but last time I checked it was 6-2 to Moreland, so definitely didn't go the way we expected. Basalo up the other end. Can she double the lead for the Hawks? Plays that one behind Bellanca's run. Speaking of series futsal, no Georgia Hawley tonight. Is she back in Victoria playing for Fitzroy? One would wonder. Ball through, looking for Spencer. Kayla Edwards with the lead, and it's gone behind for a keeper's ball.
2 minutes. We are into stop clock for this first half. We could also say the first quarter of this game, obviously. We'll be playing 4 halves due to this being a two-legged semi-final in Basolo. There we go. You can see off the toe poker. If Leyland could go quickly, EJ Silver's been left all alone. EJ Silver, good first touch. Bellanca gets back on D and does very well there. She's going the other way. She's 1 against 3 off the right, and Brooke defended that well, but they needed to make more of that. West Coast Cobras. Obviously, stay with us as well, as we've got the Phoenix Futsal Club versus the Alliance coming up, which will be another cracking game. Obviously, unfortunately, doesn't mean much in terms of the league table now, but it'll be a good spectacle to finish the season.
And also after that, Longobarda versus Condors, which should be a good game. 2 sides evenly matched on the ladder. Bellanca. And that one going behind. Brooke looks inside, given away. Karam on the ball now for the Northern Hawks. All the way back. And given away. Now a chance for Silver if she can work it. All the way back to Brooke. Spencer. A chance to shoot. Spencer fired off the right, blocked by Bellanca. And Spencer again into the grateful arms of Edwards. The Hawks can look to run the time down and avoid conceding before halftime. But it's a 4-second call there from referee Chaz Paraskevas, and I think it was right. We're saying that the Hawks' goal was to waste as much time as possible, and they've been penalised for it.
No chance for the Cobras will want to make this count, obviously. They can get a goal now going into half-time, and you'd say they'd be over the moon with that. Kontanabali is going to probably go for the shot after an EJ Silver layoff. I think if they can get this straight through the middle, it's going to go in. And a good block off the line there. It was a combination of 2 players. Cobras probably needed to make a little bit more of that. EJ Silver. Kontanabali's been robbed. Leyland sweeps up, does well. And it comes all the way through to Edwards, who lets it run. 35 seconds remaining. Edwards rolls out to Bellanca. So you can hear the cries of press from the Northern Hawks bench. Kontanabali kicks that one into touch. Bellanca. She's got Curran wide. She's being pressed hard. It's come through to Edwards, who gives it to Curran. They're still pressing Cobras. This is looking a bit better for them, and they've forced a mistake. And it's going to roll out for a corner with 13 seconds remaining. They could get a goal now. Get a goal now. There'd be a great time for it. Konstanabali, 10 seconds. They definitely didn't make the most of that corner. Konstanabali has it now. 5 seconds. I think time's going to beat them. Gives it to Crystal. Jade Brooke. She gives the field to Eva Silverin. That's it for the first half of this Women's Super-Liga semi-final first leg between the Northern Hawks and the West Coast Cobras. A Dakota Van Voigt goal is all that separates it. We'll be back in a couple of minutes for the second half.
Betim Zibi here, just while Luke crosses away. A little half-time talk for myself. Only time you get to hear me today, or tonight. Greg Farrell just going through the mistakes they've had them made throughout the game. Speaking about when they're getting sucked forward too much, letting those balls in behind occur, not cutting off passing channels, just the simple stuff. Opportunities from both sides. Again, should there be more goals? I think so, but end of the day, Kyle Edwards made a few great saves, same as Annie Leyland. Like Luke Ross said before, doesn't matter how many goals, doesn't matter what the scoreline is now, there's always a chance next game to redeem yourself. So you don't want to go all out now and try and win and exceed a few and then make it harder for yourself next time. Having listened to the Cobras team talk, it's more of the same, taking chances, pressing the Hawks on those touches and such. And, well, what the coach is saying, just keep doing what you're doing and the goals will come. Whereas Greg's team talks a bit more technical than the other teams. As you can see, the emphasis of Greg Farrell smacking his board there. Second half, about to start in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. I'm sure it'll be a very entertaining game as we tune back. And you'll have John Goluch and Luke Ross back on the mics.
And we're back live for the second half. The Northern Hawks currently lead 1-0 thanks to that early finish from Dakota Van Vogt. It's Madeline Bogus now. Here's Kerm. Jade Paul. Back to Van Vogt. Down the line to Paul. Paul fires off the right with a toe poke. Leyland with the save and behind for a corner. And the Northern Hawks leading the game probably against the run of play. West Coast Cobras have been unlucky to not get a goal on the board. They've got the ball here after the turnover from that sideline ball. Cochrane plays it in the middle to Murray. Kerm has got pressure behind. Silva! Good shot there from EJ Silva. Edwards didn't see it until late, and fortunately for a Northern Hawks perspective, it flushed past the post. Annie Leyland collecting that loose ball, and she plays it in the middle to Ranieri, who didn't see many minutes in the first half. So She'll be looking to make an impact in the second. Ranieri, good ball down the line to Silva, who's got Murray on the overlap. And the last touch was off Frankie Murray. So Kerem will get it back. Bogust to Kerem. All the way back to Van Vugt, who goes first time over the top, but a little overhit. And Leyland will collect it. Silva, lovely ball down the line. Now a chance for Murray. Cochran's at the back post, but Murray couldn't find her. A 2-on-1 at the other end, perhaps. J. Paul trying to thread the needle to Bogust. As Bissalo back on. Madeline Bogust taking a spell on the bench. Dakota Van Vugt on the ball. A bit high for Talia Kerem. It's been turned over. Ranieri will be the one to take it. Cochrane in the centre. Lovely ball to Silva, who looks to get beyond Bissalo. Bissalo giving away a foul on that occasion.
And Shelby Cochrane wants to take a quick free kick there. Jade Paul's having none of it. Taz Paraskrivas telling everyone to calm down. It's just futsal. Ranieri on the far side gives it to Silva. I think if a goal is going to come, it's going to come through the youngster EJ Silva. Maybe a blast from Sarah Ranieri. Cochrane, EJ Silva. Ranieri, first time down the ball. First time the line. What a ball that was from Ranieri. What has she been doing in Europe? Clearly not partying. It looks like she's just been playing futsal non-stop. Murray. Nice 1-2 there. And this is a great opportunity. Frankie Murray. Oh! It hits the post.
Not far away there once again.
As you can see, Frankie Murray, she is, we were saying in the first half, a bit of a live wire. And that 1-2 with Cochrane was very, very nice. Kerem's going to take this side ball to Jade Paul off the right. Van Voigt was lurking there. It's going to be a corner ball. Bit of confusion there from all involved. Kerem to Paul. That's a Paul ball from Kerem to Bissalo. One on with Murray. Murray won't want to let her get the better of him. She hasn't. She's done well there. Frankie Murray to Cochrane. That's a nice ball over the top. Edwards is going to mop that one. Lets it go. Good throw there from Edwards. We were saying a few weeks ago how dangerous her throws can be. Murray went to the back post there for Sarah Ranieri. Kerem battling. Tried to go through two, having none of it. Murray and passes let her down. Bellanca's going to get us back underway. Went down the line. No one was there on this occasion. Good ball there from Ranieri to the middle. He just Silva off the right. Oh, Kerem defended exceptionally well. Silva gives it back to Cochrane. Cochrane, that was actually a good ball there to the back post. I think she was looking for Frankie Murray, who was lurking, but she never quite advanced that run. What a throw that is from Edwards. Basolo's touch kind of lets her down. Gone back the other way. Kerem looking to get away with that one. Bellanca trying to run. Ranieri. Bellanca, good ball to the back post. Cochrane. Oh, we had a lot of time. Ranieri, nice ball through. And what a goal this would be. Going after the press, but our final touch let Cochrane down in the end. But that was well done from start to finish there from the West Coast Cobras girls to get out of the press. Bellanca cuts inside. Murray does well to dispossess her into 3v1 if they can make it work. Murray to Silva. The angle's tight. Oh, and she was looking for Ranieri at the back post, but nothing was forthcoming.
Edwards gets them moving on quickly. Cochrane with the clearing header.
What would you say this second half? John, how do you think it's gone so far?
The Cobras have had a lot of chances. They've just struggled with their finishing today. Quite easily could be level or even in the lead if a couple of those shots from the likes of Silva, Kontinabali and Spencer had found the back of the net earlier. But
You've got to give some credit, I'd say, to Kyle Edwards in the goal, who's made a few good saves.
yeah, she has been good, I agree. And if it wasn't for some of her heroics, the Hawks could quite easily have found themselves in
I'd say that Kyle Edwards
position.
knows how to shut down the angle as well. Reminds me of a female Tom Robles, I could say. She flies out.
Yeah, I think that's quite a good comparison. They're both probably one of, if not the best keepers in their respective divisions. Is Cochrane with a chance? And
Save that
as
from
we
Edwards.
talk about it, it's Edwards again who bails the Hawks out. A lovely right hand to get down low and pick it out of the bottom corner. And here's another shot coming in from Brooke. That one finds the back of the net. Edwards was unsighted, and the West Coast Cobras are level.
What a goal that was from Carla Edwards. We were giving, from Crystal J. Brooke on Carla Edwards. We were giving her a big rap in goals, but she probably dropped a little bit early on that one. We'll see here, Jade Brooke over the middle and probably was unsighted as well, Carla Edwards. Can't put much blame on her for that because she's been stellar this game.
Yeah, marking was poor from the Northern Hawks. No one was there to mark Brooke quick enough, and the space in front of her wasn't closed down. It was a free shot, and the lady who's come up through the ranks all the way from the C Division makes the Northern Hawks pay in the A-League semi-final,
The A-League.
or the Women's A Division semi-final, but you know it's not far off the A-League. It hasn't been great recently, and it's good to see the futsal game growing, unlike the outdoor game as of recent years. Hopefully the Matilda's good performance in the recent World Cup can spur the outdoor game on, but I'm not sure. You know, a lot of Australian players play abroad as soon as they get any good, so not many of the national team players from the W League or A League actually feature here in Western Australia, whether it's all the players playing in the Australian women's futsal team do play in one of the Australian leagues or another. Obviously, Greg Farrell, the coach on the bench, who also coaches the Australian women's futsal team as well. Zoe Svedano, the only known player playing abroad, but with the likes of Silver and Spencer coming through, I don't think it'll be long before there's a few others. I'm not sure what was called there, but it's
I think it was an illegal block was given.
Illegal block. Well, a chance for the Hawks to test Danny Leyland. Looks like it's going to be Dakota Van Vugt starting over it. I'd probably put Ingrid Gomez-Basalo on it, but we'll see if Van Vugt can make me eat my words.
Could be a set play to Basolo. She is free, and it is. Basolo, a good block from
Very
Silva.
nearly. Blocked by the Cobras. Bellanca with a couple to beat. Does well. Squeezes the ball out to Curran, who tries to play it to Bellanca and does. Bellanca trying to lay it off to Van Vugt. Silva marshals Curran closely. Good ball to Bellanca. Gets around Kontinabali, and she's brought to ground. So the strength of Kaitlyn Bellanca just proving too much on that occasion. All those hours in the gym paying off, and she'll get a free kick just inside the Hawks half. Well, they can look to test Danny Leyland and put themselves back in the lead with 10 minutes to go.
Yeah, you can probably see that the West Coast Cobras have identified Bellanca as probably the danger woman, I should say. Looks like they are regularly double teaming him and double teaming her again, but it's paying off, and Bellanca's got a free kick here, and Van Vugt is so open on the right hand side. What will she do? Bellanca, I think she's going to pass it. I would say almost certainly she will. She hasn't. She's blasted straight into Jade Brooke. She gets it back here, Bellanca. Back roll to Van Vugt, who scored the opener. Nice parallel down the line there. Basolo, one-on-one with Tatum Spencer, and can't quite dig that one out. That was good play from all involved. Annie Leyland to restart play to Kontinabali. So 9 minutes remaining in this one, and it's nicely poised at the moment. Curran, Bellanca to Curran. EJ Silva marshalling her well. Battle of the two youngsters. And I'd say Silva's went out this time. Kontinabali Plays it back to Jade Brooke, who does well there. Gives it to Tatum Spencer. Can she switch it? What a ball that is! Contenabali, this would be some goal! To EJ Silva, what a goal that was! From the West Coast Cobras. Playing out of the press expertly. And EJ Silva finishing it off, but a big wrap has to go there to Tatum Spencer with a splitting pass straight through the middle. You'll see it here. What a ball that was. Perfectly weighted. Contenabali. Similar ball to the back post, and EJ Silva toe pokes that one in.
The youngest player on the court paying dividends for the West Coast Cobras, and after being a goal down, they now find themselves in the lead with just under 9 minutes to go in the semi-final first leg. Can the Northern Hawks respond? Again, it's not do or die, so we probably won't see a fifth man come out, as there is a whole other leg next week, but you definitely do want to be in the advantageous position in case you have an off day come the other time around. So the Cobras at the moment in the driving seat. Jade Paul looking to change it. She's got Contenabali to beat. Plays for Salo out wide, who stretches but can't quite reach it. Silva takes it quickly. It was Spencer that took it quickly, playing it to Silva rather.
Could we say that the Northern Hawks bench will be annoyed but not rattled?
I don't think they will be rattled. The likes of Bellanca have definitely faced much more high-pressure situations and than this before. Trying to link up with Contenabali was EJ Silva, but it's been pinched. Shooting early there was a big gun, and not going to trouble Leyland from that kind of distance. And behind for Carla Edwards.
Carla Edwards, who's been so good today, almost gives away a 4-second violation. And I dare say if it wasn't for Edwards in the goal, this would be a bigger margin. But on the other hand, as we're live now, Cochrane scores the third. And as I was about to say, the Northern Hawks do have a slightly weaker side. The West Coast Cobras would be wise to go for the juggernaut and go for the win and try and get maybe 4 goals or 3 goals ahead and set that massive advantage going into the second half.
Yeah, the Cobras do have to go for the jugular because, next week, all likelihood of Kayla McCulloch returning, and it could be a very different picture with her on the side. The Cobras fighting Cochrane unmarked. It's really poor defending for the Northern Hawks. For the first and third goals in particular, second I'd say is good play, but nevertheless the Cobras really are in the driving seat. Bellanca looking to change it.
Also, isn't like the Northern Hawks to probably be that poor at the back end as we say that. Cochrane scores a second, and that's 4-1 for the West Coast Cobras. The Northern Hawks are capitulating.
Yeah, Cochrane picking the pocket of Carla Began at the back and putting her second on the board. Cochrane isn't renowned for scoring goals, but she's done well today. Bellanca, even that pass is a little bit risky, putting Began under pressure, but the Hawks get away with it. However, the ball has been turned over. Contenabali to take the side ball. Cochrane, the hero.
And we were saying earlier that the Cobras, when they went down early, they can't capitulate and let the game get away from them as there is a whole second leg, and now it's probably gone the other way. I'd almost say that if the Northern Hawks concede again, it could be all she wrote for this semi-final. If you do recall, a few years ago, the West Coast Cobras won the first leg semi-final against this same opposition 6-0. I think when Melissa Shepherd scored 4 or 5. And that second leg was almost a dead rubber. And I'd argue the Northern Hawks had a stronger team back then.
Yeah, I think the second leg was 2-2. So despite the Hawks not going down in that particular match, the damage was done in the first leg, losing 8 to an aggregate. And I do agree, look, 4-1 down you can come back from, but if it gets to 5, even 6-1, you've got to say that's game, set, match. And yeah, I think the Hawks did have a better side back then. The only real addition has been, as we say her name once again, Kaitlyn Bellanca, who put the block in, but they've lost the likes of Emma Elias, who is a current West Coast Cobra, not here this evening, alongside Coral Buxy and McCulloch, the main one, who's not here today. Podmore as well, actually, who won League MVP last season and hasn't featured this time out due to outdoors. So you are right when you say that. 5 minutes to go, and it's looking like it's going to be all green this evening. As Frankie Murray standing over the free kick on the halfway line. Spencer just slowing the game down.
I got to say, Tatum Spencer's been unreal today. Putting in block after block. She's bringing, I'd say, an outdoor performance almost, just sliding into tackles. She's been really good, especially making her presence known at 14. Murray, Bellanca robs her, and it's a one-on-one with Cochrane. What will Cochrane do here? Bellanca slowed the game down, and Cochrane's defended well, sent her wide, and Frankie Murray with the double team. That was exceptionally defended from the two Cobras girls.
Yeah, Bellanca just needed to go forward a bit quicker there. She had Cochrane isolated one-on-one, but as soon as you slow it down, the Cobras are hungry. They got back in numbers quickly. But I think, yeah, look, the likes of Sam Brady, Tatum Spencer, and EJ Silva, and I'm saying this with absolutely no bias, are the best 3 upcoming young women's players in the state. It reminds me of Charlie Garnham and Stewie Kerr for Cambio Cumbre. It's sort of that next generation of players coming through. Sam Brady obviously not being here today, but she was instrumental last time out when the Cobras drew 2-2 with the Northern Hawks.
Van Vogt down the line. Annie Leyland with the blast. Michael Dudek, thanks for tuning in. I do agree, I'm probably better than a prime Jesse Dart in the commentary box.
Jesse Dart was pretty good, Luke. We'd love to get him back, but what's he doing nowadays? Commentating the waffle or something. Well, look, I think you come close. I think you come close.
Thanks.
John Buckler and Jesse Dart, and now it's John Goodlich and Luke Ross.
You let me know who you'd prefer. I know who I'd prefer. Michael Dudek has let everyone know who he'd prefer. So if you guys are watching and you are aware of them too, let us know who you'd prefer.
And again, just touching on the next match, don't go away. Tell your friends to tune in, because it is a big one between Phoenix and Alliance. Yes, it might not mean that much in context of the league now that Footscrubs FC have won. But it doesn't take away from the game. It is going to be an intense matchup. The likes of Lucas Mello on show, Ali Milham, probably one of, if not the best player in the state at the moment. Baka Al-Karahuli, Lloyd Allen I've heard won't be featuring, unfortunately, but still nevertheless definitely one to tune in. And if Phoenix do win, then they will go into finals 7 games unbeaten. If it is Alliance, then their season very may well come to a premature end.
And
But
I've just been told the big news, the big out in the next game is Frank Gordon won't be joining us. He's going to be missing out. It looks like he's got prior commitments.
Frank Gordon, I think I saw on Facebook today, he's at his year 12 ball with a very fancy looking date, so we wish him all the best. Obviously, Frank Gordon, the youngest player in the Phoenix lineup, but they'll have to do it without him this evening. Milham will have to step up in his absence. And, obviously, 2 very good sides. As much as we were saying it might be the end of the Alliance run, they can beat anybody on their day and have played in some very intense matchups throughout the season. Hopefully, for their sake, they'll have a little bit more depth than they did last week against the West Coast Cobras. And then after that, Longabarda versus Condors, another game I'm looking forward to, which once again won't really mean too much in league standings, but it should be a very close affair. Longabarda drawing 6-0 with the Andinos last week. Condors actually beating the Footscrubs, who are now finals bound. So 2 sides that picked up points last time out, and the ultimate test of who can finish their season on a high is we're in stop clock territory now, as the West Coast Cobras are just going to look to see this one out, set themselves up with a big second leg lead. Bellanca's come off, so that's Greg Farrell throwing the towel in. He's happy to go down 4-1 and look to build on something for next week, but can pull one back. A little bit consolation, but maybe trying to reduce the deficit to 2.
Yeah, couldn't have said that one better myself, John. And as we're saying that, the West Coast Cobras have called their timeout for the second half. We'll go to a quick ad break and bring you back the last minute 40 seconds. And we are back for the last minute 40 of this first leg semi-final. West Coast Cobras leading 4-1. They'll want to maybe nick another goal and definitely not let the Northern Hawks back in this game, not give them a sniff. So Cochrane gets us back underway. Tatum Spencer, who we said has been so good tonight. Contenabali down the line was looking for Cochrane, nothing doing. Obviously, the West Coast Cobras, who are winning 4-1, actually did finish underneath the Hawks on the ladder. I think it was actually very close. May have been a point or two, but you'd expect probably a closer scoreline. So I don't think the Cobras beat the Hawks in the regular season. After playing 3 times, I think it was a few close encounters, but they never quite got over the top of them, so they've picked their game and they've picked it well. Solo going to get us underway. Minute 30 remaining. Paul's at the back. Gives it to Curran. Paul. Cochrane handballs it. They'll want to make this count here. Probably won't want to leave Basolo open as they did on the last set piece. Goodlich is now back with me. He just took a quick intermission. Where were you, John?
I was in the toilet and glad I didn't miss too much of the action because
I think they were waiting just for you, mate.
yeah, I think they extended the timeout just for me. As Leyland goes long, looking for Murray, who's trying to get on the outside of Ingrid Basalo. But Basalo uses her body well, and the last touch was off Frankie Murray. So a chance for Edwards to get it restarted quickly. She
Good
goes
throw.
over the top looking for Curran, but potential man of the match contender Shelby Cochrane chests it away. And almost inside that final minute now. Ball all the way back to Van Voigt, who started it so well for the Hawks. Basalo through the legs of Murray. McCulloch looking for the return, but not to be.
Is there another goal in this, John? A minute remaining now.
I think there might be. Hawks are going to be pushing numbers forward by the looks of it. And Cochrane's found herself in space once again. Tatum Spencer to wrap it up. A little bit of a heavy touch, but the Hawks exposed once again. They've been very leaky defensively, and Farrell's had enough. He's putting Bellanca back on for one last say. Paul Van Vogt tries to find Bellanca down the line, but it's won back by Contenabali to make it 5-1. Takes the deflection. Edwards with the last touch.
36 seconds remaining. What can the Cobras conjure up from this? They have been pretty wasteful from their chances from the side balls. And as we say that, my point was proven. Carla Edwards is going to get us back underway. She goes long. Good throw from Edwards. Frankie Murray. The solo wins out there. Murray and her battling hard. I'm not sure who's going to win out. It's a bit scrappy in the corner, and I think that's going to be a Hawks ball. It is. Good eye there from Jonathan Silas. Alenka's going to take the side ball. 21 seconds remaining. The Northern Hawks probably, I'd say they definitely need a goal for next week. Leyland goes long to Murray. Murray flicks over, and that is out of bounds. 15 seconds. Can the Northern Hawks get a goal and set up a Grand Slam game next week, or will the Cobras hold on? 11 seconds. Yeah, I have a feeling, like I've just been told, that it'll be fly keeper time for the Northern Hawks next week. Probably a whole game kind of thing. Leyland needs to go long here. She doesn't. Cochrane gives it away through the middle. I think time's going to beat the Northern Hawks. 3 seconds. Cochrane defends well once again, and that's it. That's all time in this first leg of the semi-final. West Coast Cobras running out 4-1 winners. Shelby Cochrane getting 2. EJ Silver and Crystal Jade Brooke getting 1 each, and Dakota Van Voigt, the sole goal scorer. We'll quickly run through the stats, and then we'll be back for the second men's Supa-Liga game of the evening. So having a look here, you can just see that possession and attempted passes and completed passes doesn't mean too much when how lethal the West Coast Cobras were in front of goal. So that wraps up the women's Supa-Liga action for tonight. We'll be back for the men's Supa-Liga in just a minute.